We're live on Instagram, live on Facebook. Happy Thirsty Thursday, everybody. Man, I realize it's been a minute.
It feels like a long time.
It feels like a really long time. For those of you that missed us last week, don't worry, we missed you as well. We missed you as we were vacationing. Yeah, so we're back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're drinking one of my favorite wines today.
That's crazy. I think the last time I had it was at the wedding that we made this particular bottle for.
So it's pretty cool. The particular wine that we're drinking today was made May of 2018, and it's a Pink Moscato. So before I forget, the reason we're drinking Pink Moscato today is because our Pink Moscato kits are back in stock. Now this is the classic Wine Expert kit. It's 6 gallons? 5 gallons?
It's 6.
What is it? 6, yeah. 6 gallons. It's going to be $99.99, but with the code PINK at checkout right now, for a couple more days, you can get 10% off. So it's going to be $89.99 with that 10% off at checkout. And it's, someone was saying, were you saying it's like our #1 bestseller?
We go through it. I ordered 100 of them.
Yeah,
this
and
round.
we've sold quite a few so far, and it hasn't been very long.
We don't even take them off the pallets. We roll the pallet up into the store and leave them that way, because why would we move them to move them?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, Moscato's generally not pink, so I think that that's kind of the draw of it. True. Is that it's like kind of like rosé in a way. But I don't know if you guys can see. They did some really cool labels. Now this was for a wedding.
Yes.
This was actually for our warehouse manager's. Was it her daughter?
No, her wedding. So she got married 3 years ago. Yeah, Elise got married 3 years ago to Danny, and one of the gifts that we gave was we said, "What wine would you like for your wedding? We'll cover that for you."
I know, I was getting confused because Jen, it was for her.
Yes, that was for her daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we said, "We'll cover that for you." And she said, "I would love Pink Moscato. I think my family would love Pink Moscato." And so I made the Pink Moscato, and then graphics. Todd, who I didn't fire that day, did the labels.
They're gonna be backwards for you, but they're cool. And then he even did a label on the back. It looks like a store-bought wine, really.
Yes.
I mean, if
it was really special when they had that sitting out at the bar, and then the back of it says, "We are thrilled you are here to help us celebrate our wedding day. Thank you for your love and support. Cheers, Danny and Elise." And their last name starts with a W, so he even made them their own kind of seal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so neat. And then they took the time to do the silver PVC on the top, which I think just looks classy. If you watched our previous live, you can also do the wax seal on the top. So 2 ways to class your wine up, but if you watch this one's a little bit harder.
Probably our process didn't class anything up, but we had a good time.
We did have a good time. Yeah, so I just think that this looks really good, and I'm really excited to try it. You said this is like one of the last bottles that she had. She
had 2 bottles left and let us have one for our live, and she kept one.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
But they've opened them up on their anniversaries or special events. Throughout the ones that were
that's
left
cool,
over.
like how people do the wedding cake or whatever.
Yeah. Why not do wedding wine?
You want to know a fun fact about? Well, it's not really a fun fact, but
I'm gonna do a fun fact and start opening it while you're telling me.
Okay,
because I'm
cool.
gonna get thirsty.
We made our own wedding cake for my wedding. Just as like it was just a nice thing to do
Did you bake
together.
a lot?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. It turned out really well.
Did you do multiple tiers?
No, it was 1 tier.
Okay. I just broke that.
But we did use like fondant, and we.
You did?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's good. You just have to make sure to like really roll it out and.
I would love to do a cake decorating class.
Me too. Absolutely. Before when I was trying to figure out what the heck I want to do with my life, which I still haven't. In its entirety, yeah. I thought about maybe being a cake decorator, but yeah. Anyways, the wedding cake. You know how people save a piece of their wedding cake, remember? I didn't even get a piece of wedding cake.
It was gone, huh?
It was just gone. Everyone says that it was really good.
Well, it must have been good.
So I was like, hey.
Take their word for it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having issues. I broke this. That's how I do it, though. You know.
I don't know if I've ever told this story on the live before, but the first time I tried to open up a red bottle of wine,
there we go.
I didn't have one of these, so I just used a spoon and like pushed it down, which ended in an explosion all over my kitchen.
Did you have any though?
Some, yeah, and I didn't like it. I don't even know what type it was or anything. It was back in college.
Speaking of wine, on our last live we were making the Amarone, and you just did some work.
Yes. So the Amarone, we just we're standing up. It's
Getting
real
serious about this. There we go. Now this was a Noma cork.
Sweet. The Amarone, the smell when I opened up the fermenter was like so much. So what I did is, I think I might have put it on our story the other day, but I just racked it from that container. I took basically the wood chips, the raisins, and what else was in there?
Skins.
Grape skins. Took that out of there and put it into a new container. And then it'll sit for 2 more weeks, and then I believe we add some more clearing agents to it at that point.
We'll probably have some more chemicals, clearing agents, and degassing.
Yeah. Yep.
Because degassing is a super important part.
Someone on our Facebook was commenting and saying, like, we put up a picture about the 3-prong degasser and talking a little bit about it, and they're like, is that why I don't do this step, is that why my wine has a slight, like, tingle to it? And yeah, that's gonna have, like, contribute to some, like, carbonation.
Like an off-mouth feel.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you know this, but do they degas champagne then, or is that a different type of a thing?
I don't think you would, because, well, the thing is, I've never made champagne myself.
Making champagne is supposedly pretty, you have to be really spot on. I was reading, It's pretty hard to make.
Yes. Now, Jean and Ed, 2 of our fantastic winemakers that come into the shop all the time, they make champagne.
Cool.
And they make champagne out of all different things. In fact, I think they've made champagne out of Pink Moscato.
Ooh, that'd be
Which
good.
would just be, it's not champagne, it's sparkling wine.
Right. Because true champagne's like from...
It's true, it's very complicated, right? But everything else can be sparkling wine. But they do a forced carbonation.
Okay.
So because Ed's an engineer, and they have this all set up where they
do it in a keg, like throw it in a keg and do it similar to beer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then they bottle it, so and it's always good.
Right.
I drink it. But anytime I've had someone come in and need help, Ed and Jean are always willing to help, which I love. And they also teach our wine classes sometimes, so that's cool.
Let's see, we've got a comment. Melanie. Melanie's like one of our biggest fans. She said, I'm working, I can't watch you guys, but I'm certain you'll share more wonderful knowledge. Oh, thanks. She's so sweet.
She is so
She
sweet.
always tells us that we're going to be movie stars, to which I respond, we already are. Just kidding. Should we try this?
We should.
I'm excited.
I like the smell, actually.
I would be interested to see what the color of this was.
I think it's darkened.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Mm-hmm. So the color is like fairly dark, and
it was not this dark initially.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Because all the pictures that I've seen, and like pictures can be photoshopped, I would know, but we're a lot lighter.
Yes. It's sweet.
It's very sweet.
It's super sweet. I'm not a sweet girl.
Yeah, this is like if you basically just want fruit juice with a hint of alcohol.
It's almost just a sweet wine.
It's almost reminiscent of when we did the peach raspberry island mist. Kind of.
I think it's more sophisticated than that one.
Right, but it kind of reminds me of that.
Well, because we haven't had a sweet wine since, have we?
What's weird about it is that we've been drinking a lot of bold reds.
Yes.
And I want to smell
have
something.
That huge aroma.
And I'm breathing in as hard as I can. There's nothing going on. Not much, anyways.
You know, it's sweet, but it's not the sweetest I've ever had. And I would think if you are a sweet wine drinker, this would be sweet enough for you. And if you're one that's just only off dry, this would work for you as well. Now, if you're a big peppery cab, Malbec, Amarone kind of drinker, this is not going to be for you.
Not going to be your thing.
But definitely like at the pool, at dinner.
I definitely think that this too is something that you could like mix, like make mixed drinks with.
Like, what are you thinking?
Well,
Make a spritzer, like a wine
yeah,
spritzer?
Yeah. So I saw a recipe. We shared it on our Instagram. If you go a few pages back, or a few posts back, it was basically like a Pink Moscato sangria type of
Sangria.
thing.
What did they just put? So I picked up a couple of notes because I wanted to make sure that if anybody asked the difference between like a classic Moscato and a Pink Moscato, I was not going to be like,
Hey Paula,
I think I remember.
What's the difference between a classic Moscato and a Pink Moscato?
Funny that you ask that. So your classic Moscato grapes are your Muscat, okay? And that's what this is. This is still Muscat. But the Pink Moscato, they add a little bit of the Merlot grape in there
so that's
to give
what
it color.
gives it.
So that's what it is. And then what you're doing is when you make that combination, you're infusing it usually a strawberry flavor.
Right.
Which I totally agree with. So if you like strawberries.
So when I read the description, it was strawberry, cherry, raspberry. And I think out of all of them, I'm tasting the strawberry the most.
So this kit lists those 3 flavors. But like at large, like out in the world, they would most likely just have raspberry or raspberry and something else. So this one definitely has a little more complexity. Which is, I think, why we feel like it's just fruit punch, because it doesn't have that take your breath away, and I think you would drink this a lot faster.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because so I saw you had a note about the ABV. I was looking for the ABV all over, and I'm glad that you found it because I was having difficulty.
So about 8.5%.
8.5, which is super low for.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be like the Amarone is going to be super high that we talked about 2 weeks ago, and this one's going to be pretty moderate. I should be able to drive after lunch today.
I feel like most wines are at least double digits. So I was really surprised.
Yeah, this one's low.
That it was low. So maybe it's not a bad thing that it's kind of like more sippable.
Because you're gonna drink it faster.
Because you're gonna drink it faster.
For sure. And they consider it to be a sweet wine, and they say no oaking. So and that's totally what the deal is.
Yeah, totally unoaked.
And I think that had we tried this one a year ago.
Oh, a year ago I would have been like, this is the best ever. And I still do really like it.
Yeah.
But I can taste like how it's really sweet. And I don't think I would have like picked up on that.
You'd have been like, it's normal.
Yeah,
it's whatever normal is.
Normal.
Whatever normal is.
I've never told you this before, but my little sister had us all rolling at a restaurant one time because I'm from Montana, and anyone that's from Montana, you know that the dressing that you get on anything, but specifically salads, is ranch. Like, there's no other dressing. Like, really, pretty much everyone there eats every food with ranch. It's a thing. And they, like, come and put it on your tables like you would ketchup. They bring it in big bottles. Anyways, the whole point of the story being is that my little sister, they asked her what type of dressing she wanted on her salad, and she said, regular? Like, you're saying, like, normal? And they like, looked at her and they're like, what? And she's like, I just want normal? And we're like, ranch, she wants ranch. So that's what it reminded me of.
Oh, that's precious. I want regular.
And then we were all, like, laughing because it was funny, and then she got, like, upset and embarrassed because we were laughing. She didn't know why. But yeah.
She probably thinks it's funny now.
She thinks it's hilarious now. Now she's like, it's crazy how fast time goes because she's a freshman in college now. So that was when she was like 8.
Is she still drinking normal, regular?
Regular.
Eating. Yeah.
Real quick, I wanted to talk a little bit about your vacation. Because you'll see why. We're not just like out here talking about our vacation. She did a really cool thing.
I did a really cool thing. So we went to I was in Virginia Beach, which I've never been before, and I would highly recommend Virginia Beach. It certainly wasn't what I expected. It was way better than I expected. When we stayed at the very end of the strip in the Marriott there, so if you're familiar with that area, it just is oceanfront and beautiful. But we did our homework when it came to food and drink, which I know isn't shocking if you've ever heard us talk. But a little shout out, we went to this little restaurant.
She says we. This was not we.
No, my husband and I, and then his brother. We found this restaurant. His brother lives in Virginia area. And it was this man, his name was Giada. Gianni. Sorry.
Sorry, Gianni.
Yeah. And he has this wine bar. And it was incredible because you had a couple different choices for wine. And I always think that if I can learn about wine on vacation, it's a win. And so our rule is we have to try something we've never had before. And, if there's a sommelier there, we for sure want to pick his brain or her brain.
A sommelier is a wine person.
Yes. So, the way the wine shop worked is it's just, you could go in and it could be a bottle shop. Or you can go in and you can use it as a bar. So you get like a card and there are certain rooms you go in that are price points. And you can swipe your card and have little tastes or full glasses of wine. So that is super cool, which we didn't do because I was already tired and I didn't want to walk around and it was way too much to do. But I just wanted to find a bottle of wine that was going to go well with our meal. That we could experience something completely different. And so we were speaking to the sommelier, and he said, well, what do you guys want? He said to my husband and I, which we don't have the same palate. And I said, well, that's the funny part. Because he was going to do something.
Can you do half and half like a pizza?
And our pizzas are all half and half. I said, but he's going to want something that's going to be not burning, no heartburn, very low acid, well balanced. But he does like to have some fruit because he's like a Pinot Noir kind of guy. But I wanted white because we were doing a whole spread of fish. And the guy said, okay, what do you drink? I go, Sauvignon Blanc, which he's like, well, let me see what I can find in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And I really thought he'd come up with maybe a Chenin or maybe a Vonier or something. No. And I should look it up on my pictures, but he came up with something I'd never had before, and that was really
cool.
fun. So we took a picture of the label, thinking, well, if we ever see it again, we'll definitely get it. But it was an experience that we found there are wines out there that are flavorful enough for me, and non-acidic enough for him, and yet.
So you both enjoyed it?
Yeah, and it still let all the fish, because I'm telling you what, the owner goes out and he fishes for the fish himself, and then they come back in and it's all this aged beef and then the fish, and they deboned it at the table. It was food and drink artwork.
It was, you had a great vacation.
I did. And every day we tried something different because there was also, obviously 5 days of eating. So it was 5 days of me drinking wine. And truly it was me drinking wine.
That's awesome.
So how was yours?
Mine was good. I didn't drink anything while I was on vacation, but I will say
You tried different meats, didn't you?
I did. Mm-hmm. Actually, I totally forgot about that. I'll finish my thought though. Briefly. I actually was glad that there was meat. It was like the very last day of my vacation because I craved a beer. I missed my Thursday. I really truly did, and I was like, oh man, I haven't felt like that before. So, hey, cheers.
Best job ever.
But yeah, no, so you're right. I totally forgot. I did try mead. I went to a Renaissance-themed wedding reception. Really cool. A little bit out of my element, which is hard to make me feel out of my element because I'm very just like, alright, this is what's happening.
Go with the flow.
But pretty cool. Renaissance-themed, outfits. And then they had different family crest banners on all of the tents. And they had sword fighting, fake sword fighting over off in a corner. But the coolest part was they had mead, and they had some homemade meads. There's elderberry mead, which was good, but it was very, very sweet. Probably not. It was way sweeter than this.
But you wouldn't have to make it sweet.
You wouldn't have to. Mm-hmm. And I talked to the person that made it a little bit, and they were, talking about the different things that they were doing. And it was really cool to be able to relate to what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And then I, of course, told them that it was great. I wasn't going to say, it's so sweet. And then they had a couple of different store-bought ones. So they had a store-bought one from South Dakota. And those were dessert meads, which were also sweet, but that's because they were intended.
And I've never had a dessert mead.
There was a berry one, and then there was a date one. So
what was the date one? Did you try it?
The date one was one of my favorite ones.
Really? Was it a little nutty and earthier?
It was actually just if you... the only time I've really ate dates is in Fig Newtons, and literally it was like that sweet type of a.
All right.
But my favorite one was a session mead, and it was like 12%, I think, and it was like it was just supposed to be like a plain honey mead, and it was out of Montana. I can't remember. I think I'm not even gonna try. It was like a smaller town in Montana, which they're all small there, and it was delicious. Like so my husband started drinking, and when he starts drinking, I stop. That's like the dynamic that we have going on. And I was upset about it because I wanted to drink more.
Couldn't you guys have gotten a ride somewhere?
Yeah. We had 5 hours to drive back to the airport.
Okay,
but
never mind.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I enjoyed. I had plenty. So, but yeah, I really like mead.
I do.
For anyone that hasn't brewed any of our for anyone that's brewed beer or made wine but's never tried mead, like try it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Do a 1 gallon batch. Yeah. I have some mead that's still aging. It's full of sediment. It's crazy how much sediment's in the bottom.
At your house?
Actually, I think it's at Nick's house now.
Oh, okay.
In his wine cellar.
I didn't know that.
He's a little
that'd be
room he's
cool.
turning into a bar, so he's got my old wine rack that holds 120 bottles, and it's more than full. I know. Welcome to our house. My children are winos too.
You should open one of your own of the experience that you went on vacation and just open it up to the public. Like, come on in.
Come on in. We'll help you out. How fun would that be? That'd be a fun job.
Yeah. Hey,
just chilling with people and drinking.
I mean, what are we doing now?
Chilling with people drinking. I hope you guys are drinking too.
We're not chilling so much. It's
Let's get warm in here.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the discount code one time, and then we'll round this out. But
okay.
So discount 10% off with code PINK at checkout for the Pink Moscato kit, and that's gonna bring the price down from $99.99 to $89.99. But it is only through this weekend, so make sure that if you want that discount, you get on it.
And it qualifies for free shipping.
It does, because anything over $50 qualifies for free shipping. Yeah, so with that, next week we're going to be talking about the Orange Sickle Cream Ale beer kit.
It's a seasonal item, and it's just now back.
I'm very interested in
Nick
it.
is too.
I don't know if I've had a cream ale.
And I'm going to have to do my best, because we obviously can't get it brewed. And carbonated and what have you by next week. So I'm going to have to go and find something from a local brewery that is going to be close. But if anybody out there has done this, because it was available last year, we'd love to hear from you about what you thought of it. That'd be cool. And then are we keeping them up that we have something else to do in 2 weeks with the Amarone?
Yeah, so then for the Amarone wine, like we said, in a couple weeks we'll be adding some different chemicals to it and clearing it. So I'll try to keep you guys updated on our stories. You tend to seem to like when we update people on the stories, so...
It's a process. You guys were with us when we started.
Yeah.
We don't want to end it without you either.
Yeah, for sure. With that, I think that we're going to see you next Thursday, and we're happy to be back.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.